It's about 5 in the morning. I've been up for the last 3 hours thinking. So I set up my Rembrandt lighting in my studio here, and I wanted to talk about the A7S Mark II, which I'm filming with right now, and why it's still a viable option even with the A7S Mark III on the horizon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
So welcome to Matt's Notes. Here we talk about photography, videography, cameras, gear, drones and phones, and I want to give you a different perspective on both new and old gear. In this case, mid-range when we're talking about the A7S Mark II. So obviously we're not in a studio, we're on my front porch. The sun is hardly over the horizon, and that's the beauty of this camera. You can bump it to crazy ISOs and come out with a clean image. As for photography, I would not sleep on this camera either. I mean, it's 12 megapixels, but that's more than enough for most of your prints, portrait work, and even landscapes. If you're only posting to Instagram, you're going to come out with a less than 2 megapixel resolution image anyways, so just consider that. Now, I don't want to get so deep into comparisons with the Mark I or the Mark III or any other cameras on the market, but I kind of have to. So, the A7S II was an upgrade from the Mark I. Came with IBIS, 4K internally, full HD up to 120 frames per second. Now the A7S III is a direct upgrade from that, where it has an articulating screen, an incredible viewfinder, full HD up to 240 frames per second, 4K raw 60 frames per second externally, as well as 4K at 120 frames per second. You can expect a better color depth with the A7S III, whereas the Mark II caps out at 8-bit 420. Now let me tell you why a lot of those specs don't matter to 95% of you. First off, the color depth. 420 at 8-bit has been an industry standard for a very long time. The only reason you're seeing 422 at 10-bit and 12-bit nowadays is because we have digital sensors, and it's easier to incorporate into today's technology, but you can work with 420 8-bit and come out with a very good looking image. Do you need RAW for every subject? Probably not. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have RAW, it's nice to have a good color depth to work with, but it's also nice to have a colorist and a team to work on your stuff. If you're a one-man, one-woman band, maybe you're a photo or video journalist that is working on your own nomadically, freelance work, you don't have time to be grading your footage all that much. Maybe you're just making YouTube videos. You don't want to work with RAW every single time. It's cumbersome. It takes up a lot of space and time. Maybe you just want to pump out videos, and that's what the A7S Mark II can do, especially because you have the S-Log series, you have CineSpace, and you can do a lot with what this camera has to offer. So in a nutshell, yeah, it's cool to have the high spec stuff, but you don't necessarily need that more than you need your own skill set. Now, some drawbacks to the A7S II. Obviously, the battery life is not the best. It caps out at 29 minutes, and you have to reset your video every time. It is 4K at only 24 frames per second, but you do have a full 4K full frame image where it doesn't crop. You don't have that nice articulating screen, but there's easy workarounds that are very cheap that I'll show you in an upcoming video. The autofocus isn't the best. As you could probably see in this video, even with native glass, it tends to struggle. It's contrast based, so expect breathing I mean, spec-wise, there's a lot of cameras that can match it nowadays, but the A7S II is right there with them. A lot of your content is going on the web now. Maybe Instagram or capsuled at full HD anyways. YouTube compresses the crap out of your videos, so a lot of the benefits you're gonna see with 8K, RAW, what have you, are gonna be mitigated by compression. So, in short, I just wanna say again, work on your skill set. Unlimited stuff is cool, but creativity is limitless. And I wanna leave you with that and say thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Hello, you made it to the very end of the video, and I'd like to say thank you kindly for watching all the way to this point. And I'd also like to announce that I made an Instagram for Matt's Notes, so be sure to check that out at, well, Matt's Notes. And there you will find samples of photos and videos that you see in my videos, as well as just random animations or, you know, stuff taken with my gear. Alright, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in a few days.